Namaste. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Odissi Dance Fundamental Series here at Narthaki Arts Academy. I am Tara Chantal Gomez. I am the founder of Narthaki Arts Academy, and I will be your teacher and mentor during this introduction to Odissi, classical Indian dance from Orissa, India. And so I'm going to share my personal experience with you today on how I fell in love with Odissi. And it all comes down to sadhana. Before encountering Odissi, I was already a serious student of yoga. And I just felt and found so much joy waking up every day in the early morning, taking a shower, chanting my prayers, the mantras, making offerings to the altar, and then proceeding to the asana practice. And of course, what I loved about it was the meditation aspect of it, which was just calming the mind, bringing the mind and the energy and the focus into singularity, into a heartfelt offering of devotion, of prayer. And that's what made me fall in love with yoga as a devotional practice. After practicing yoga for a long time, during my first time in India, I found a Odissi dance class. And what I loved about it is that it applied all the principles of yoga, but just we were practicing art, we were practicing dance, we were practicing movement. And so I found the answer to this call of wanting to continue my devotional practice and the sadhana that yoga offers you, but in dance. I've always had a dancer soul. I used to practice dance when I was a young girl. And then there was a period of my life where I didn't have dance. So then when I encountered Odissi, I found that it was a great response to this inner yearning of wanting to pursue dance again in my life. And so, one of the first things that my guru at the time, bless his heart, Guru Padma Churanduri, taught me was making myself beautiful for Lord Jagannath. So, Lord Jagannath is the prime deity of worship in the Odissi dance culture, in the Oriya culture, you could say. Jagannath has this very interesting tribal figure. He's made out of wood, and this is how it looks like. And so Odissi dance springs from Bhakti culture, so springs from a culture dedicated to the Vaishnava philosophy, the Vaishnava thought, which is honoring Vishnu as the prime deity and his following avatars, which is one of them being the very famous Krishna. And Jagannath is also one of the avatars coming out of Krishna and is is the prime deity of Orissa. So what is important for you to know is that all of these deities are symbols of consciousness. They are symbols of devotion, and they all represent a teaching in which when we honor and worship these symbols, we are actually invoking the teachings. And so Jagannath, you know, there is a lot of symbols to Jagannath, but in a very superficial manner, which later on, then I will give a talk on Jagannath. He is the Lord of the universe. You can see that his face is painted in black, and the rest of his body is adorned in white. So he is the omnipresence. He is that supreme consciousness, the supreme love, and he dwells in the cosmos. So that's why he has this black, white, and red colors, as well as yellow. Something also super important to see here is that these colors are the colors of Tantra. Tantra, which is, the worship of the mythical, the metaphysics of our relationship with the cosmos. And so, the predominant colors of Tantra are white, black, and red, and of course yellow, which is actually gold, representing gold. And so Jagannath is a tantric deity, and I will definitely go deeper into that. And the way he was carved out actually comes from a mythological story where one Brahmin, one sage, went into a cave and was meditating for a long time. And then through his meditation, he carved out Jagannath, and then Jagannath, is what it is today. And so one thing is also another point which is important to understand is that Orissa, where this culture springs from, is extremely tribal. I mean, today is already there's already a lot of modernization and development happening there, but it is one of the states in India that holds the largest number of tribes. And so you will see a lot of tribal culture in its art, its sculpture, its painting, its adornments, the fabrics. It is fascinating, actually. And so, as you can see, this is a tribal looking deity because it was carved out through a time where tribalism was predominant. And so we in Odissi Dance, we there are a lot of dance. A lot of the dance architecture is coming out of this form, and of course out of the culture of worshiping Jagannath, of embodying Jagannath, of embodying that omnipresence, that universal consciousness. And so when I was initiated into the dance through my guru, he said, you have to paint, first and foremost, take a shower and paint. At the time I was young, I never ever used makeup. And my teacher was like, please paint, put kajal on your eyes, because Jagannath loves seeing the eyes of of the dancers who offer their dance to him. And so one thing that is also important to know, that the dance culture, Odissi, has its roots in temple culture, where they would offer song and music and dance to Jagannath as an offering, because it is said in the Vedas, the ancient Sanskrit texts, where knowledge of being human in this human experience is written down, very, very ancient books. It is said that music, song, and dance are the highest offerings one can give to the divine. So we will offer our dance, our sadhana, in honor of the Lord of the universe. Sadhana is a whole ritual preparation, and it starts by, of course, preparing yourself. When my teacher told me, like, oh, you have to prepare yourself to make yourself beautiful to Jagannath, at the time I was just offering everything to Jagannath, offering everything to that universal consciousness. But then over the years, I came to learn that actually the sadhana, that daily practice of making myself beautiful, was actually cultivating the divine feminine within me. And without knowing it, I was actually empowering myself every day by committing to the practice of making myself beautiful every day for the gods. And ultimately, it's cultivating the God, goddess within you. And that's why we put beautiful makeup on and you adorn yourself with adornments. Of course, it should be adornments that is easygoing to dance with. And of course, Jagannath, one of my Vedic astrologers told me that as a temple keeper, as a sacred dancer, it is important to wear pearls. And so I have a beautiful mala, which is pearl and rudraksha, and it's actually representing the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And here I have on my ring finger a pearl ring and with silver. So it's a silver ring with a pearl. And I actually got this in Rajasthan. And so yeah, I love wearing pearls because pearls is actually an adornment that a lot of the ancient temple dancers would use. And especially for me, according to my Vedic chart, it is important for me to wear pearls when I dance for Lord Jagannath and when I embody the goddess. This whole class series, I'm going to give you a brief introduction to Odissi dance culture. And of course, it starts with sadhana and, the ritual preparation of putting yourself beautiful. And of course, that also goes with wearing a dance sari. So I have a beautiful winter sari from Odisha. And this is made out of cotton. And this is, it has this pattern here where you will see in a lot of saris in India, and they call this the temple. So this is ikat, so it's a certain kind of handicrafts made, by hand. And maybe it's already made by machine these days, I don't know. But traditionally, it was made with a machine, with a artisanal machine. Here you have the Kala Chakra. So this is the wheel of time. So this is the palu of the sari. So the part that goes over the shoulder. And this is the remaining part. And so I will teach you now how to wear a sari.